Do the jump off. All right, everybody. Welcome to the market wrap up with JDM Mo. Today is Friday, August 14th, 2020, 7:09 p.m. Central Time. We're about to get it rolling. And how you doing tonight, Mo?
I'm great. I'm tired and hungry, but it's been a long day, so I'm
You had a
ready.
long week and a half, right?
And then I'm coming back right back on it. So yeah, trying to catch up today.
Okay. Well, and I have a game tonight. We're gonna make
Word.
it nice and clean. So I want to touch on something. I know you're going to jump on this one, man. I'm going to click on this link. You can see my screen, right, with the Investors Business Daily.
Yes, sir.
Uh, and of course, we put out the Stock Scouts report on this past month on mining and metals,
Mm-hmm.
focused on precious metals, miners. They were a little overextended, but the move is so powerful. We felt that it's something to talk about. But look who's buying gold right now. Warren Buffett loads up on gold stocks. On this particular gold stock, uh, it was one of our picks. Barrick Gold is one of that chart was really nice for me. It was between Barrick Gold for me and GDX for one of my trades last week. I got caught in the pullback on GDX, but I still like it, man. I want to let it take a breather and look for a hedge, man. So give me your thoughts on Mr. Buffett loading up on this gold, on gold, man.
Well, there's a few things that I think about this. I'm started off as a kind of a Buffett disciple. Like he's the first investment like kind of philosophy that really grabbed me. So I've read a lot of his stuff and his letters and everything, and knowing how he approaches business in at an extreme value point, and then also knowing how these reports come out, these 13F reports, that's pretty much where they get this data from. Is it's a that information is a bit of a lagging indicator. Like
Okay,
Buffett may be out of that gold position by now.
that's funny, man,
He
because they
might
have to
actually
report
be
after the
out of.
fact,
Yeah,
right?
they have to report well after the fact. So like, and then they talked about he got rid of airlines and things like that. Like um, you know, knowing and when you like if you read his shareholder reports and you read his writings, like you'll kind of see, but like he'll do stuff and then talk about it way after the fact. And these
Right.
13F reports, they try to keep up as close as they can with fund managers, but it's still a quarter. It's like a quarter and a month after they have to um, report to the SEC that they get this information. So I think it's great that he's bought gold, that he's changing out his kind of well, I wouldn't necessarily say he's changing out, because even looking at some of the other things that they talk about, he picked up like that. It's in his realm. He picks things that everyday people would use, buy, and continue to go with. So, I'm not surprised by it. Him picking up gold is something that's been moving,
Right,
and it's
right.
hard to deny. He's an investor. He's going to move where those funds are, and for him to pick Barrick Gold, um, I'm curious. That makes me want to go back and look at the chart to
This,
see when he possibly could have made that entry.
I'm gonna
Um,
go. I'm looking at. I got the weekly pulled up. Let me put it on the. I think it might be on the screen. Yeah.
yep.
Uh, I'm looking at the. I wanted to see the daily to see if there was a spike over several days.
Mm,
And you're talking about. We're talking months ago, right? From
hmm So he could have made this
April.
position in March and April, yeah, and then just sold it out at the top. That's
We got 40 million shares on the February 28th. Then we go.
mhm.
Let me zoom in a little bit harder. Got that 40 million February 28th, and then we go with 36 million still with that, and
Mhm.
32, 33,
Mhm.
34. It could have been along the, and
Yep.
this is that pattern right here. The accumulation stage is slow
Yep.
markup.
Yep.
That quite
That's
possibly could have been it,
accumulation. It was right there. Yep.
all in
Mhm.
there.
Yep. And it's stuff like this, studying the charts after the fact, having charts for breakfast and charts for dinner. So when you start to see these little accumulation things on the right side, and you can kind of anticipate and see where those moves are. But yeah, I I'm very confident in the fact that he purchased this and sold it a long time ago. He probably doesn't own Barrick Gold anymore. He may, but
Hey, look at our sell off on 11th of August. 36
mhm,
million shares sold, traded that day with
mhm,
the gap down
mhm,
from the 10th to the 11th. So the article comes out. Buffett's already exited whatever position, but I mean it almost matches exactly what's right here to back with this 36 million right here upon
mhm,
entry, or
mhm.
all the way accumulation, that kind of thing. So, and he could leg out of it. I mean, it could be dark pools that absorb that move. So,
And don't get it twisted, man. Like, the media say what they want about Buffett. He the OG. Like,
yeah, yeah.
what he can almost make anything happen. So, like, I wouldn't be, he probably forecasted telling this so that the stock would drop, knowing how the media is and prices are reacting to his value method right now. So, I wouldn't put it past him. He's still got one of the most valuable companies. So,
And what I do like about what's going on with gold right now on the pullback, um, I'm seeing support levels that I
mhm.
that I like. What we got here? Is that me? That was on IBD. IBD is trying to thump. Wow. Okay.
Wow, they
I
thumping.
Yeah, I didn't know they were. They came like that. So I had a. Anyway, man. Just from the standpoint of looking at the pullback and finding support, just there's just areas within the charts where people are looking to hop back in. I was talking to my wife about support and resistance today,
Mhm,
and just different, showing her different levels on the charts to where when people want to buy, it's like I explained to how she will go to Kohl's and see something that she wants, and she says, "You know what? But I'm not willing to pay that, so I'm gonna watch it." She'll watch
mhm,
an item for several weeks,
mhm.
and then she'll drop back by and find it at that price and get it, either get that or get two of them, because
Yep.
she tracked it and she knows it's a desirable, but it's overpriced. It's outside the range, and when it comes back down to a certain level, buyers are buying. And
Yep.
gold was extended, uh, but Barrick Gold is not like overextended like for geez, with GDX extended right there. GDX was a little, it's a little more acute, but not as acute. All the gold and all the precious metals needed to pull back
Mhm.
and to keep that run to see what's going on. But I wanted to add something else about. I'll see it, the posts in our groups about, well, there's a news article about this company about such an XYZ. It says they're going to do this and blah blah blah, and I'll just go with right here. Let's go Fastly. And Trump or somebody, Fastly got caught in a tailwind, right, where they had a sell off. And but if we look at the charts, man, the sell off happened from, okay, everything was going great, people bought in, accumulation, the markup, the euphoria, up to here on the 4th of August. There was a pullback on the 5th and a severe gap down on the 6th. But the concern was everyone was saying that there was news on Fastly. Let's see, the news, Fastly to president at investor conference, present, excuse me. Uh, there's something where it was an issue where he stepped in and made a statement and they sold off. But if you look at the chart, we can't blame the news. The news was just the final. It was a nail that broke. What is it? The nail that broke the camel's straw that broke the camel's back. It The chart was telling us it's overbought and there's going to be a pullback. We just didn't know it was going to, it was going to be that. But this is the original breakout area, right? In this little zone here to in here from. So the pullback was coming. It was just the fact that there was a news catalyst to trigger it. So we can't. The idea is like we can't blame the news. We can. We can say the news is what triggered it. But if we are set up where we know, like, okay, if I'm in a trade and I've gone up 1, 2, 3. Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 6 consecutive days, and my volume is just. It was on the in I mean on the it was inclining a little bit, but then it decreased just slightly that next day. My RSI is overbought, even though it rode in overbought territory as it was going up. So we're really overdue for a corrective move, and it could be more correction coming, but expect a pullback after we see an angle of just acute upticks. When I say that, I mean, Mo, that's one of your things. How we talk about like that 45-degree angle, the smooth
Mm-hmm.
path of
Mm-hmm.
maybe a Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that
Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple.
Nvidia, even
Mm-hmm.
when Nvidia goes parabolic,
It still comes back.
it pulls back into its range, and then it'll sell off. But just the over, I think I would do a better shot of Nvidia like on a weekly, and Nvidia is getting a lot of love right now, man. A lot of love. So what?
They can't keep their chips in stock. Their
That sectors,
the game cards. They can't keep them in stock.
and the higher crypto goes, the more the AMD, Nvidia. I'm trying to think
Yep.
who. I don't know if Intel is in limbo, but the the chip guys for the gamers are going to fight for the chips, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have the crypto miners for if you're mining on the Ethereum or on the Monero, what crypto, what is it, Crypto Night, just all
Mm-hmm.
those platforms where you can make your mining rig with a graphics card or
Mm-hmm.
CPU, GPU. So I like that sector, man. I wanted to mention something, Mo. What are your thoughts on this, man? I was frustrated this week with myself about I hopped into an MU trade pretty quickly, but
Yeah.
I was using I, I wasn't looking I wasn't going off my daily like I normally do. I dropped down to I went with the 4 hour, and prior to that I was there was without going all into it, I found a supposed entry on the 4 hour,
Mm-hmm.
and I drilled down to a 1 hour, and I did find that entry. It was the date was what's the date? It was like the 10th, and I found that 1 hour entry, and I was in profit. It was a small position, but I held it past its threshold for what it should have been doing because it was in a bearish trend on my daily, and I broke my trading plan. I cut a corner because I saw a pretty decent option, and I took $117 loss, man. Which in the grand scheme of things isn't big, but it was a poor choice. What are your thoughts on having a trading plan and having the discipline to stick to it? Let's talk to the folks about that.
Man, and this one is right at home because this was a mastermind or a MMR report pick, Micron for my group, and so I'm not pleased with the turnout this month either. It had a nice consolidation going through um, last month with some pretty decent news. So um, I didn't foresee, um, it kind of turning down the way it is. I do like the way today's candle ended with that doji.
Right.
Kind of gives me an idea that that may be the floor, that may be support, and that's like a clear doji. So
That's the purest doji I've seen in
I
a long
mean,
time to finish
right,
up with no color.
right. I that's like pure. So and it's on pretty decent volume. It's above average volume. So that may be the turning point, which is good. It needs to, you know, maintain that $45 level and pull back up. But yeah, I'm, it's one of those things. Like this was considered a long term, a hold for the month for me. So
It's
let's
definitely.
see if we pull it back up.
Well, I tell you this, man. Brothers on the streets are saying that the Rothschilds stepped in, and because we have a doji that's white, brother, it's no color, green or red. Can you tell me that somebody's not saying that somewhere? He said, that's just proof right now. We don't need to be in this market, brother. Right? Okay, anyway. He said, you step
Extra
up, brother,
woke,
and read this, man. Read the charts, brother. Okay.
extra woke. Nah,
Okay.
you a trip.
But look, I'm, here's my take on Micron. My mistake was it's the first time I've owned Micron shares
Mhm,
years ago. I
mhm,
bought it in a share building program, but I never traded Micron. So that went against all of my, and I keep my trading plan
mhm,
right. I keep my stuff right there,
mhm.
and I just
Right.
I looked past it, and I I think I even wrote down news. So there's a way that you can find a reason to make that trade if you look long
Mhm,
enough.
mhm.
You're like, you know what? But still, they normally have earnings and they do well after earnings and this and that and the earnings per share. But are you fundamental? Are you technical? Or are you a hybrid? And if you're a hybrid, uh, we have to have rules in place. And I
Mhm,
broke it. I got hit.
mhm.
Now, what I am happy about, man, I took my L's and got my wins. Kylan said you can't let the man beat you, or you can be you.
You be the man.
Yeah, man. I tell you this though, setting my stops for me. Um, that's what we can mention right here, Mo.
Mhm.
I'm a hard stop setter because I need, brother. Don't give me rope, man. My wife knows, man. She can give me just a little. Don't give. She has to give me strict directives. If you give me any freedom, she knows. That's why I'm like, hey, you're really type A, aren't you, baby? You trying to boss this house and this and that, and I'll be like, hey, baby, what should we do about blah blah blah? Because she's calm, I'm the panicker and
Mhm.
the dreamer, but she's that. But I need a hard stop. But you're a little bit different than that, aren't you?
Um, yes. Well, yes and no. I mean, I definitely have a hard stop, but it depends on the trading plan. And like for Micron, like this is one of those where I'm working to stick with my trading plan, and keeping this as a whole for the entire month. I did have a you know, if it falls through the floor drop, but we haven't gotten there yet. So, and that's why I'm okay with this candle right here. If we are able to get some strength next week and pull back some of that price, maybe close that gap from the day before, um, where the loss won't be as much by the end of the month. Possibly even a 0.5% gain or something like that. That's what I'll be looking for. But as you said, it's part of understanding your trading plan and what the accomplishment is or what your goal is. Um, this is tough. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm sticking with my plan, and we'll see if it definitely does drop through my floor like I will definitely
Well,
exit. But
for me, man, I'm backing away from Micron just off of my lack of familiarity with how it moves.
mm,
And but I tell you this, it for me, I do see a current trading range, and it's testing the edges of a trading range. But if it can scale above these levels at 52 and probably the 55 range,
mhm.
after it mounts that comeback and kind of hangs in there, that push up to that level, you know, the 60s is not out of the fact. You know, and technology, man, is going to lead the way.
Mhm.
It is going to
Yep.
lead the way. That's just that's hard to say it's not. And I was reading something where it was talking about deflationary, how technology is actually deflationary,
Mm,
to where the
yeah,
cost of performing tasks, like let's say I have a
yeah.
vision, but I don't have the technology to get to Mars right now because it costs X amount of dollars. But as you, what is it? It's not Moore's law, but it's the other. There's another guy that says it's actually faster than Moore's law. How technology will it outpace itself, become
Um,
obsolete within 18 months, but it's in and that rate
uh,
is increasing. So they're saying it's going to be cheaper. It's going to be cheaper to manufacture phones, manufacture graphics cards,
mhm,
manufacture augmented reality.
mhm,
All is, and we're getting all the data right now for the driverless taxis. My wife, shout out to Lawan Ellaby, the beautiful wife. Hey, baby, on here. Uh, she loves Uber because of they're studying flying taxis and they're moving forward with that. So the
mhm.
point is, we might be 5 to 10 years ahead, but it's going to be, you know, initially the big screen TVs, Best Buy has those on sale right now, not just because of Corona, just because it's 48 cents to make one, you know, or
Mhm.
in
Yep.
overseas. And so technology and advancements in there has a chance to be deflationary
Yep.
uh, in a lot of areas. So what are your thoughts with that one, man?
That's a very, very interesting and valid concept. Technological process is definitely the key to growth, to long-term growth, and believes the Gordon growth model from economics. Long-term growth is labor, um, uh, labor and technology, pretty much. Like, and that's what's going to um, forward things. So, and you were right. It is Moore's law that that states that the transistors. I can't say that for
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know
nothing.
what you're talking about. Right. Right.
But they are able
Transistors
to
or
be transistors, something like that. But
transistor
they,
tour. Okay, I'm
um,
fine then.
but they are able to double their computing speed every 18 months to 2 years or something like that. So
And they
um,
said that that okay.
it's
And
increasing. I
even
mean,
faster
we're emerging with quantum
quantum
computing.
computing.
I mean, like,
It's
yeah, and the blockchain is really simplifying a lot in with dealing with the aspect of ledgers. And we talk about smart contracts and like time and yeah, like
real time data. Uh, the data is visible real time to everyone.
mm-hmm.
Uh, everything's on the, you know, the action on the blockchain is there, you know. So
So the costs are definitely being removed, and the blockchain is doing a lot to remove a whole lot of costs. So
yeah.
it being deflationary, take now that's a very valid statement.
And it's
Uh,
pushing innovation, man, because it's gonna people, you know, you have fear about, okay, the blockchain, blah blah blah. Whatever fears are out there, innovation is being catalyzed by the fears because competition is, you know, is boosting innovation. And Brandon said he's in MU as well. And then he mentioned that doji on the Brandon Harbaugh mentioned the doji on the day. I'm I got XLK on the screen, Mo. If
mhm.
you wanted to share anything, man, I like I, almost XLK didn't fit my criteria to get in today because it's a little bit over. It's extended, but it's staying on my watch list. And I had gotten away from tracking my ETFs, man, which I love paying attention to these, man, but there's a gap that needs to be filled a little bit with some support at like 110.50, which is cool. Let it come on back to my 21 day and trend a little bit, and then let's make that push again. But XLK is staying on my list to kind of keep my attention. We've been watching the airlines in my household too, but I just I think that having a basket of stocks, guys, having our watch list are key. And I've been watching Visa, Mo.
Yeah, I just saw a note on Visa and MasterCard.
It's churning, dog.
Yeah,
Look at that,
yeah, and it's in a nice consolidation mode. Like
man.
it's going to break that, and I like
I need to be in it.
somebody please post in the chat something that will make Visa break to the downside. Like I can't think of anything in their business model, in the economy, in transactions, like what would break that seriously down to the downside outside of something like Rona, what happened, that brings the entire market down. So
Angry Brother said, as the black man steps into the new millennium. Anyway, that's the only thing, brother. As the Rothschilds come forward, that's so. I mean, if you're going to
they
overlook that,
they manipulate the market. So as soon as you put it in, they're gonna take it out right from under you.
it's
Brother.
no way for us to
You
win
can't get
this.
ahead, brother. They got it stranglehold.
We're
Nah,
gonna
but
find a way.
nah, I love Visa.
Hmm.
I love Visa. Is something that everybody should hold, trade,
This is a
invest,
hybrid one,
have.
by long term and a trader.
It's a great. That's another thing about Visa is that it's a great trading stock. Um, it's been in this range. I mean, you could calls and puts in this range for the last like 3 or 4 weeks.
Right.
Would have been um, very prudent.
And
Visa wasn't on my list this month, but we'll
it
see if
wasn't on mine.
it's all right. Cause September, October coming around, so
Well,
retail finna come right back into play.
oh my goodness. Yeah, and think about with Visa, man. I was looking for levels. I'll write it down. Nike is another one I wanted to mention, but uh,
Yeah.
I Visa. Let's see. I hopped in Visa, but the options, man, the prices were outstanding. I
Mm,
got into the when I say outstanding, I'm not looking for a $40 option or 40-cent option unless it fits. But I think I got one for $3.54.
not bad.
And let's see, I had my stop. No, that was my exit. I got in at yeah, I can't believe I didn't write that down like I wanted to. But my stop, I exited at 354. I was in it in the twos. Had my stop set at like 197, give or take. But I got the move that was right. That this daily move right there. So got the reversal. Could be a 3 pin if we wanted it, but I just need the reversal, got my confirmation and stayed through. So just within the chaos, within the trading range, there's also time if for traders out there, there's also space to trade within a trading range. Now we don't buy at the top of a range
Mm-hmm.
and we don't sell at the bottom when we know it's an identifiable range. If you do, you set your stops. But when this thing breaks out, this is my famous line: the tip in. It puts that always
It
puts the
already
tip
did.
in. It puts the
It
tip in
already did.
and comes back. So it's gonna come up and test it again. It's tested it over here. It kind of went over there and found out her mom didn't work that night. Came back home. Little brother she was babysitting that night right there. Came back. Mama left. They bought pizza, and then he had to go home. And
He had to go babysit.
he had to go home. His little brother was throwing up. Thought he had corona. So the point I'm making, guys, when you test a trend line multiple
That's
times,
right, Gerald.
you test it and test it, and finally, when it breaks through and has a little bit of volume continuation, this
Mm-hmm.
thing can explode. Not saying a guarantee, but just like if we go back, I'm just kind of doing just making a point of
and you could do Disney. I'll never forget that.
Man, that
Disney consolidated for a minute and just bust out. This was like last year though, but yeah.
you know what? And I'm it's crazy about Disney, man. People aren't mentioning right now, and it's in that area, in that range, and that price level. Well, I
Been
don't know
talking
why I
about Disney
haven't
for the
put my
longest.
money in there like I should, because
Higher lows, higher highs. Come on now.
130, even if it pulls back, man, it's still a buy. If okay, guys, I'm not doing that as a recommendation. I'm saying for me, I like the company. Mo's a fan of the company. I like their moat. I like what
The assets they have in control.
and the
Man,
intrinsic
start
value with the streaming service.
Lucasfilm and Marvel is worth $130 a share by themselves, in my opinion.
Okay, that you mentioned Marvel. How Marvel had us for the last 15 years with Iron Man, with the Avengers franchise, and the we. I grew up on Star Wars. I mentioned this in our mastermind group last week. I grew up on my mastermind. I don't want. I'm gonna make sure we're together. Anyway, so just make sure everybody's on the same page with that. But Avengers has owned the airways for the last 15 years. DC tried to step in, couldn't do it. A couple other franchises, but they said the only sector. I was listening to a podcast. Gentleman he's a video game expert. The only sector that has a chance to compete with streaming, like the streaming services of like Disney, who owns Marvel, uh, and is a video game sector. And the video game sector has not is only monetizing at the fraction of of the level of like cable TV right now. So the intrinsic built-in upside is phenomenal, is what he's saying. So if you have children who are 7 to 15 years old, a lot of the kids have gone in from like childhood into teenage, and they're going to move into young adulthood with Marvel, but they're all gamers. And
Yep,
so when they rarely watch TV, they watch streaming,
yep.
YouTube, TikTok, they're on the game. So that next move is going to be that gaming move, that virtual reality, augmented reality gaming is going to be big, man.
Yep,
And
I
that
agree.
that was our second. I know I always tooted out. That was the second stock scouting report, man. Gaming and
Oh
entertainment.
yeah, man.
That
We do a lot for the people. I don't know if folks, you know,
I,
know about the love that we show, but you know,
it's a,
it made
now
it.
it
We made
takes
a few people some change.
there's some sweat equity into that though, man.
Yeah,
That researching, but I like Disney.
I love Disney.
I just wanted to kind of. I've been with Activision. Tell me what you think about Take Two.
Mhm.
Okay, the
Thank you, Gerald.
what is? Oh, okay, Gerald. What's up, G? I Take Two for me is something. I'm an Activision fan, but Take Two's trying to take over for me right now. I like Activision, Take Two, and EA. Which one are your favorites in the gaming sector?
I would have to say EA because I'm most familiar with their games. Growing up, I was Madden
Madden.
King, NBA Live Madden King. So especially that one year, the Steelers was the bomb when they had Heinz Ward and they had
The bus.
Pop Palomalu and the
Yeah,
bus.
yeah,
I
yeah. They
could
were
not be
strong.
beat with that squad. Golly. But
Uh,
anyway, yeah, EA Sports like that's that. It's interesting with gaming stocks right now because they tend to usually show some strength in August and September. A lot of them tend to have video game releases around this time, which usually fuels the stock price. But um, a lot of those releases are being postponed and moved to another time or and so I especially for EA Sports with most of sports trying to start up but not college football. Most of the college football conferences, I think only the Pac-12 is the only one that said that they were going to have some kind of season like a
Well,
few of the conferences. So it's kind of a big with video game stocks right now to me.
take two, man, okay. You mentioned NBA Live. NBA 2K has
Mm-hmm.
taken over and Take Two is running that. The
Mm-hmm.
bubble is going well, and NBA 2K also has the WNBA,
Mm-hmm.
and and they have a lot of interactive stuff. I'm playing the game right now, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all interactive and it's geared for kids. My friend said his 8-year-old is locked in on it. So my wife's like, "You on that again?" I was like, "Yeah, my guy sucks, man. You know, I'm creating my own guy and everything, you know, and I'm locked into it. But I think the gaming for the long haul, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a
I agree.
September 18th 8250 call on Activision. I'm underwater a little bit, but I'm swing trading that. Um, but the leaps that we looked at in the stock scouting report,
Mm-hmm.
they still fit the bill for
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yep.
I wanted to show this one. I think it was in one of our groups, man. Someone mentioned WM, asked about waste management. I traded waste management like this week and got a good move on it. And but the thing about me, if I, wow, if I see something, catch a move, and it's still in a trend, you take your profit and if you're trading, you can take your profit and get out and look for another reentry. Now, I'm tracking waste management. I make this is an ascending triangle for me, guys. This was an old chart, but it's coming up to like 113.60, and price is kind of consolidating into it's bottlenecking, guys, getting tight, whether it's coiling up like a spring or a rubber band that's being pulled, but price gets really tight. It's not going. These are wide moves right here,
Mm-hmm.
pushes. But when price kind of just stays in a certain range, something is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to break up or break down. That's the thing. The probability says it will break up and come back down to test and possibly push, but it could also shoot down. So the idea is we need to wait for a signal confirmation. And what I'm looking for right now, had a push up, had some pullback, doji, sell off, and another doji, found support along this trend line right here, guys. If I see an open or a push above 112.05 on Monday, I might look to get in
Mm-hmm.
and like early afternoon to see. Now, when I'm not going to give you all the details of my trading plan because it's just boring. But I pay attention to the RSI. So if I get in and like my lower RSI, maybe my hourly is instead of down here, it's up here, and I buy, it's gonna come back down and basically take me out, hit my stop. So I try to buy when my RSI is basically oversold. The lower RSIs are oversold, and my daily chart or whatever is still in the right trend. So I'm watching waste management, man. Are you watching anything for next week? Maybe one.
Well, you mentioned before I got my eyes on Nike. Been
Yeah,
having my
man.
eyes on that one. That's a good one for me. But I mean, since I've come back, most of the beginning of this month, I've been a little bit more
Ooh,
focused on crypto. But you know, I got a couple of stocks on the radar.
you want to take it?
Um,
What's
well,
up?
I mean, I didn't necessarily have any particular
Well,
stocks to go over, but I did want to show something, but it wasn't stocks.
okay, yeah, sure,
Well,
yeah,
not
show it,
stocks
man.
in particular, but um, I don't know. I mean, with it being the middle of the month, I figure I could kind of throw a little curveball a little bit and
Okay,
just kind of take a look at what has been performing well.
cool.
Um, this month to kind of give folks an idea of where fund is flowing. Where
We got
funds
a
are
bull
flowing.
flag right here. Beautiful bull flag, double bull. Anyway,
But nah, you good.
Nike
Yeah,
looks nice, man.
Nike's been my stock, so that's
And
pretty much what.
it's above the nonsense right now. So it can come back down and
That could
hang out.
possibly even be a reverse head and shoulders on a long,
Oh my
depending
goodness.
on the long term frame. So yeah, Nike is just peeped in, pulled back,
Left head,
and
right.
man.
Mm.
So
Oh, so brother, since Kaepernick is down with, okay, anyway. Uh,
man,
yeah,
Jordan
man.
running this game.
Hey,
He
when the NFL
overturned.
comes in, there could be all kind of things where Nike gets a boost.
Yeah,
Other stories
yeah,
along with the chart. So
yeah,
you ready to? You want me to
yeah, yeah,
pass it
yeah.
over? All right.
Pull this up. All right. So I just, every now and again, I'm sometimes, a fundamentalist, I guess, and I like to look at fundamentals and just kind of get an idea of um, underlying, kind of take a um, macro kind of uh, look at things. And so this is um, one of the sites that I like this one looking for that I like to use. And I just like to get an idea. I keep up with sectors, so just kind of get an idea month to date, what's been performing well so far and what hasn't, and just kind of taking a look at it. Man, this solar ETF for solar power, it's always seeming to do good. This ETF is always making it. But this is something that I saw in a few articles this past week is that transportation and industrials have been doing relatively well, even better than some of the tech sectors. And you see tech, I still haven't really gotten to any, yeah, tech is like way up there. So um, industrials and um, transportation has been doing fairly well this month, and I just figured, well, thought that that was interesting. Uh, Consumer discretionary is up 4%. Bitcoin, obviously. Then we look at like where funds are not or what's not performing well. That gold miners, that GDX, yeah, that took a little hit. But right now, I mean, nothing really out of the ordinary. It looks like high tech is starting to see some lows. Marijuana is, well, cannabis, alternative harvest ETF, MJ, um, taking a little hit, but it's been doing well the last 3 months. So that's another thing I look at is 3 month returns. Look at silver, godly. Silver and solar, that's 60% good.
Hey, where's your high tech one again?
I have a few for high tech. It's not one. I
Okay.
I consider high tech new and better tech than regular tech. So I like this quantum computing is what I consider
Whoa.
high tech. Uh, Sometimes the internet I will put in high tech. The tan that I just showed you, the solar, I would consider that high
Is
tech.
cloud computing high tech for
Cloud
you?
computing, yeah, I would put cloud computing in a high tech.
Y'all writing these
Cybersecurity
down?
kind of in a high tech. So like really high tech, out of the ordinary technology, new technology, forward thinking technology. That's what I think of. And so I kind of break those down uh, into different sectors. But yeah, so I like to get an idea of where things stand. If we look at this quarter to date, silver is still rolling, Bitcoin is still rolling. They're the best performing ones. Then after Bitcoin and silver is transportation. Um, you still have metals and mining, consumer discretionary, communications. Like um, a lot of these are not necessarily your average tech ETFs, energy, metals and mining, transportation. So Bitcoin
Hey,
and silver. This is the month so far. So
I,
um,
I'm thinking, man, just off looking, the ITA, I hadn't looked at that chart, but I'm
mhm,
thinking that really historically, man, aerospace and defense, that's a sector over the next
mhm,
15, 20 years, man, that
mhm,
because if we're going to space, Musk is going to Mars. We got all these launches that we're seeing satellites popping. Aerospace and defense is going to be key because I mean you have the space force, you had I just not to say it's a buy now, but it's something for me to watch as we move forward, because Boeing has drugged that down.
Mm-hmm.
Raytheon Technologies has a chance to kind of push back up.
Mm-hmm.
General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, all those in that group have there's history there. It's a tough time right now with financing and money and things like that. But I think, and possibly after the election, man, I think that first year sometimes is there. There's a trend of like there's one of those years is a good year. The next year is that sell off that like come to realization year.
Yep.
So if we're looking at
Especially if
things,
the sitting president wins again, like there's tendencies with that as well. So yeah,
it's study time for all of us.
my DCG group gonna be on point.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I like the way y'all break that one down, man.
Yeah.
I I just think it's study time for us, and the fact that we need to come up with the game plan to where it's like if I think the majority of the people on this call, individuals on the call, have a plan in place when they buy now. We've preached and discussed, and we've all talked together to where it's not like, okay, I'm in this, what should I do? Well, how'd you find out about it? Well, I saw someone else post about it, so I bought it. But now I think everybody has some form, even if it's a lower price so-called penny stock. It's like, yeah, I'm just taking a gamble instead of like I'm buying this long term. It's like I know my strategy going in. That's the whole key. Irrespective of what the strategy is, you have something in place. Like, look, man, I have $85. I'm doing a lotto play on this. Or, hey, I'm going to buy and hold this and build a position over the next 15 years. That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very important.
Yeah.
And I I need to. I'm gonna have to wrap tonight, guys.
Yeah, no, it's good. I just
Yeah,
want
Mo.
like that's all I and you mentioned another article that I pulled up that I saw talking about the Space Force and um
Mm.
NASA going to the asteroid. What's is starts
It's
with it's
Psych
like
16.
P16, Site 16. I know it's P16 something, Site 16.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
there was another article. I'll post it again.
It,
But that came in one of my newsletters. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, let's review and see
ah,
things a little.
okay. Piggyback on that before we go, before I miss my game. Uh, you talk about the asteroid. I got on a game called No Man's Sky, like where you just out in space and you travel and travel. And one of the things you can do on there is mine an asteroid. And when you go out there in the asteroids, you mine asteroids, you get gold, platinum, cobalt, uh, you get ferrite, dust, all the stuff that's mineable on the planet right now. There was an origin for those precious metals, and Musk and that crew, they're not just going to space just to kick it and
Yep,
spend money. There's a
yep,
return. The only return on investment that you get from going to space is coming back with either you put technology up there in space that can beam something back, whether like Musk is making sure the blockchain, uh, people have access to crypto, or also that those cats are going to be drilling on whatever rock they land on. You just don't go there and just post up and put a flag down.
nope.
So the more we get wherever we land, it will be mined in some way, shape, or form. So that might be 15 years, but still, that's something.
I honestly don't think it's gonna be that long.
This,
I know I believe it's SpaceX. It might be Virgin Galactic, but I believe it's SpaceX that they're currently investing in their deep space exploration program.
it's
So they
SpaceX
trying to go past Jupiter. It's SpaceX. That's what I thought. They're like, man, 10
and
years
Blue
from now,
Origin's coming right behind them,
man, we gonna have a spaceship going orbiting
making those
Saturn or
jumps.
Uranus. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's that, and the technology that he has with his spaceship, the SpaceX spaceship being able to go and come back and redock and like
Okay,
it revolution, man.
okay, peep
It's an
this last
amazing
one,
company.
guys.
Dude
And
is
I,
brilliant, man.
I always I wrote about this in the book, man. My book, I said, and the stuff keeps popping up. Did you see the private investor who bought Ancestry.com, bought the DNA and owns the DNA? And previously, they used to have fine print, they could own that DNA for like 125 years or something.
Yep.
So I used to tell my wife, well, I put it in the book. Just a spoiler. I mean, nobody's reading it right now, but cats would shoot. You send those pods out into deep space with the DNA, and it's incubating. Now, did this get, just have a little open mind, incubating the DNA. You have an AI guided ship, AI nurturer or whatever, and it nurtures the 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 pods, and the children grow up with an AI parent, so to speak. Now, this might be 100 years, but still, the idea is our own DNA could be being shot out to deep space to colonize that area, and then eventually we end up. The next war won't be against Russia; it's going to be against our future self, a version of it, almost Gemini Man type thing. So, yeah, man.
Gerald just talked about Westworld. I think I seen that. That's on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken. I seen the first. I need to catch up with that.
My wife
But
watches
I
that. I
know,
hadn't really peeped that, but anyway, guys,
deep space
advancements.
exploration. That's man. That's where it is.
Well, and we can
getting
put our money there early.
Exactly.
We can get in on the ground floor.
Laugh at the Space Force if you want to.
Dude, let me get there. I'll do it. But hey, Mo, man. Gerald said the links in this month's SSR Blue is mine. Oh, that's perfect, man.
Yep.
Well, guys, look.
We tried to go in all aspects of mining. So we talked about the asteroid. I talked about crypto mining. Like, it's really metals.
I
and mining.
enjoyed this one, man. I mined crypto for a long time. I did the Bitcoin miners. I had a nice small sized operation, and it's like an industrial operation for those miners. For that. Now, when you mine on Ethereum, it's a little bit easier. You can build the rigs, but there's also it's a power draw. You leave a carbon footprint. So that's going to be, so there's a big mining company that has bought a bunch of miners recently. So it's starting back up. If you go on eBay, guys, and you can look for your ASIC miners, MINER, they're probably like $150, $200, but at one point in time, they were going for $6,000 a pop. Those same miners, so if you're getting into it, this is the bottom. This is the time to get back into mining because it has become profitable again. At one point in time, for crypto, the algorithm and the difficulty level for solving that algorithm was very high, and the block reward wasn't matching up, so it became less profitable for a Bitcoin miner if you didn't have a large operation. So with that last little hurrah, guys, I'll be back. We'll be back next Friday, man. I'm rapping for tonight. I need to get on to my the next move, guys. So y'all can put comments
I like
in.
being on Fridays, and then we get to make it nice and short, so you can make it to your games and stuff as well. So,
man, thank y'all for coming. Please bring a friend.
Invite somebody next time.
We have our options. Our options workshop, third options workshop.
Yes.
27th
August. Yep. Go ahead. 27th.
No, I'm trying to find it. Yeah. You got it. August 27th through 29th.
Yep.
I'll put my email in. You drop yours. And if you want more information, it's a 3-day event. It's small class.
26th to the 28th. The
26th through the 28th.
26th through the 28th.
And if you guys want to work on that, hop in. I'm thinking most of everyone in here is familiar with it, but we'd love to have you. Only 10 students because we can make it personal and just stick with it. And it's supposed to be an hour, man. We can almost go 2 hours. Two and a half some night, just depending on what's going on. Hey, Durham Bulls, what's up? Yeah, Kylan? Yeah, the minor league guys aren't playing right now, though, man. That's the only thing. So I'm watching the big leaguers. But okay, guys, you got any final words, Mo?
Hey, have an excellent weekend. Enjoy yourself and love on somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all take care. God bless. All right.
All right, brother.
Peace.